Young ladies and gentlemen, good evening once again. Good evening to each and every one of you. Once again, you are all welcome here on the Evade the Consciences platform. So in international news headlines, our attention takes us straight to Douala. In Cameroon, the country's second largest city, Douala. Yes, Douala, where nothing is going well today. Isn't that right? On this Sunday, June 8, 2025, when we talk about Cameroon, we have some of our brothers from the continent who still can't understand that they're in a system they need to break free from. Yes, it hurts some people, but they are right. Most of them are entangled in the dictatorial machinery of Paul Biya's regime. So they really don't like it when we talk about Cameroon, because talking about Cameroon means threatening their money. It's their money they are concerned about. They don't care about the greater good of the Cameroonian nation. While Cameroon has been suffering for more than how many years under Paul Biya's dictatorship, who, by the way, wants to transfer the power to his heirs. Meanwhile, some of our brothers in Cameroon still can't understand. The images you're seeing here, these are images from Cameroon. They come straight from Douala. It must be said that Maurice Kamto is being held captive. In any case, up until the moment I am recording this video conference, it is exactly 4 p.m. GMT. Maurice Kamto is being held captive in the residence where he has settled. It should be noted that Maurice Kamto returned from Paris last night, and he was supposed to hold a meeting at his party's headquarters. It should be recalled that Maurice Kamto is the main opposition figure, the man who actually won the elections in the past, but who was severely cheated. We all know the truth, and he accepted it, yes, obviously, because it was necessary to prioritize peace, to save lives and spare lives. So nothing is going well anymore in Cameroon. That is what we are going to talk about in this video conference. But before we continue, I ask you to share the video conference. It needs to be shared as much as possible. Give it lots of likes, especially lots of likes. Let's dive deep, ladies and gentlemen. So, according to the official information, Maurice Kamto himself was forced from the residence where he's being held, where more than 100 gendarmes have come to surround the residence. No one goes in, no one goes out. In other words, it's an open-air prison. Yes, an open-air prison, just like what President Alpha Condé did to the main opposition leader in Guinea, Cellou Dalein Diallo, after the results of the 2020 elections. So it's an open-air prison. No one goes out, no one comes in. Now, it should be noted that Maurice Kamto, who is very popular in Cameroon, yes, after a long stay in Paris, has returned. He was supposed to connect with his fellow citizens, whom he affectionately calls his comrades. But before coming, they made sure to inform the local authorities. Since he's an influential political figure, the authorities needed to be informed so they could ensure security. That way, for the warm welcome that awaited him, there would be no incidents. Because yes, of course, he thinks about the lives of Cameroonians. So Maurice Kamto arrives around 11 o'clock at night. To his great surprise, there is an overwhelming military escort waiting there. Yes, he was welcomed and escorted all the way to his residence. When he saw that, he said, "What is this? If it's just to ensure my safety, it doesn't require so many people. I'm not even elected president yet. But this many gendarmes, soldiers." He didn't say anything more. He went to his residence. After that, they sent in reinforcements. At that point, he really started to not understand what was going on. He said, "But what's going on?" Since they had taken care to inform the authorities in advance that he would be there, he would hold a rally, and that was it. Then he realized that from now on, he was being told not to go in, not to go out. And the authorities sent hundreds of gendarmes to his party headquarters. They blocked all the entrances. Motorcyclists couldn't get through, let alone vehicles. Even pedestrians were told access is forbidden. So it seems that the authority, the governor of the littoral region, said that Kamto did not declare the meeting he was supposed to hold. So this meeting is prohibited. And Kamto, acting lawfully, told the governor of the littoral region, there's no problem. You can send me the decree that prohibits our meeting. If they don't know the regulations, that's where everything was about to be turned upside down. But the man, knowing they were acting illegally, said, no, you didn't declare it. If you had declared your meeting in writing, I could issue a written prohibition and then send it to you. So there's no written prohibition. I'm also giving you a verbal one. So that was the response given to Kamto. And then afterwards, Kamto learns that he was asked to leave the city of Douala to go away. But the real question arises, in any case, he has to go somewhere else. The real question that arises is that as a political leader, you don't need to declare or inform the authorities to hold a meeting at your party's headquarters. Not at all. You see, in Cameroon, even if President Paul Biya didn't want Kamto to be harassed like this, those who benefit from Paul Biya's regime are behind all of this. And, Paul Biya is old now. Does he even understand what's happening in his own country? It's not certain that he does. But it's the ruthless, greedy vultures around him who are doing whatever they please. So the ban is simply meant to hide Kamto's popularity, that's all. Because Kamto is very popular. So if Kamto had gone to his rally, the crowd would have been huge and those images would have gone around the world. And that's exactly what the Biya regime doesn't want. And so for now, he's being held under house arrest. He made a video to address his fellow citizens. So far, that's the news we have. In any case, we will continue to follow the news on this front. And to the Cameroonian people, know that we have, or at least we support you, and you have our backing. How many years of dictatorship does Cameroon need to be freed from? Cameroon too. A new sun must shine over Cameroon. Things need to be very clear. And so, ladies and gentlemen, that was the top story in the news. So please share it as much as possible. I'll be back with more news shortly. This was the voice of your one and only samurai.